Liv Morgan fans need to accept this, and you need to prepare your hearts for it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and how you can go about it. Because as a Liv Morgan fan myself, the idea of this, I'm not thrilled about. I'm not happy about, but I understand that it's happening. And with that being said, you have to look at the fact that Liv Morgan has had an unbelievable 2024. I mean, heck, she's going into Saturday night's main event, defending the championship against Io Sky. Not necessarily the way I would do things, considering that she has an ongoing feud with Rhea Ripley, which is obviously leading towards the trilogy match. And they'll book that match eventually, and Rhea will likely go over. But if you look at it from a Liv Morgan standpoint, it's a little confusing. It's confusing and it's frustrating, considering that she was pinned by Rhea Ripley in War Games at Survivor Series. What are we doing? I get it, Rhea, she hit a riptide off the top rope through a table, yada, yada, yada. It's like, so? You don't pin your champion, and you certainly don't pin Liv Morgan that way, right? The fact is, they've watered it down a little bit because they've tried to extend her and Rhea. And I like that because this feud has put Liv on a completely different level, right? She's a much bigger star than she was entering this feud. And I love that. And I'm happy for her. And I'm glad that they did that. But at the same time, you can only go so far with it. And so I've internally thought about, well, do you do this match at WrestleMania? Do you try to extend Rhea and Liv to Mania? And I thought to myself, no, you can't. Because if you do, I think you're going to water it down where it starts to take away from what they've been able to do. And no one wants that, right? And so you're just like, okay, she's got to get through Io. She will get through Io. She'll defend the title against her. I don't know why they did this. I assume it was because they thought that Rhea was going to be out a lot longer than she was, and now we have to fast track this thing, right? But the fact of the matter is this, and this is the point of the video. Liv Morgan fans need to accept the fact that Liv Morgan is going to lose the Women's World Championship. And don't go dumb yet. Here's my point. She's going to lose the championship to Rhea Ripley. It's a matter of fact. It's going to happen. But the bigger picture is not her losing the title, because everyone, for the most part, sees that. They're preparing for that. What fans need to prepare themselves for is the downturn in Liv Morgan's booking. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to go back to what she was doing before the Women's World title reign. I don't believe that. I think WWE has learned from their lessons. She's really tapped into her character, and they know what they need to do to get the most out of her character, and she's a very popular star, and I think she's going to be booked as a top star going forward. But she has been booked in such a, I don't want to say dominant way, because she has two heaters in Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez, but she always comes out on top in her feuds and most of her segments and matches. And that's not going to be the case because there's no need for that in every single instance, as if you were a champion or if you are going after a championship. Therefore, she's going to have a downturn with her booking. Whatever feud they put her into next, she could easily lose that feud. Or she could win, but she's not going to be booked exactly the same. They're going to have to eventually lead to a babyface run, which I think she'll be super duper over in when she does that in this current character. But the fact is that there are going to be changes and there's going to be losses. And as someone who believes in wins and losses and the fact that those two stats matter, you have to build up people and you have to get them over with wins and you have to make them credible and you have to put a little bit of respect on their name. The fact of the matter is, booking will change for Liv. And as long as you don't beat her like a drum, as long as you continuously use her on television in multiple ways, as long as you continuously book her against top-tier talent, and, oh, by the way, win some matches along the way, she's going to be just fine. She's going to be A-okay. And I don't have any concerns in that regard if, and that's a big if you go in that direction and you actually follow that booking strategy. On the flip side of that, there is a very good possibility that she gets beat like a drum because that's what WWE does, unfortunately, where you will build someone, and then all of a sudden they just start losing and they will knock them down the card, right? You look at LA Knight, he was someone that would be booked in big time situations and just lose all the time. Jey Uso, same way. Sami Zayn, the same way. For the longest time, I felt like it was that with, Liv Morgan until she had her breakout year. But the fact is, things are changing. 2025 will be different for Liv Morgan than it was in 2024. I don't think it'll necessarily get better. I don't know how you can top your breakout year and have, 200 days as champion as they're recording of this video. I think she hits 200 days on December 11th. And feud with Becky Lynch and beat Becky Lynch twice and get aligned with the biggest heel in the business, and which is Dominic Mysterio, in my opinion, and feuding with Rhea Ripley for multiple months and being used on Monday Night Raw in opening, closing, and multiple segments, and selling a bunch of merch and really just absolutely changing the game. And I think that you have to be appreciative of this run if you are a Liv Morgan fan. And because there was a lot of BS that Liv Morgan had to go through up until this point. And anyone who says otherwise is mistaken. She had to eat a lot of crap to get to this point. But things are different under Triple H. And the fact that they had to create a breakout star earlier this year to lead the charge in the Monday Night Raw women's division, and they opted to go with Liv Morgan, is very significant in my eyes, because you had to build someone. Becky, she was opting not to leave, or opting not to re-sign, and she was going to leave. You had Rhea Ripley, who was injured and was going to be out for multiple months due to a shoulder injury. You had to do something. And the fact of the matter is, I think that they've done very well with Liv. They've created a new superstar out of Liv. She is a main eventer, and as long as WWE can continuously book her the right way, she's going to be like that for years, and she's going to be used like that for years, and she's going to be able to build other stars and put stars over and everything like that. I think in that regard, it's going to be very, very good. It's going to be very, very nice to see how far they can go with her, how long they want to go with her, who they want to build up with her. That will be the question. That will be the intrigue. That will be what will be telling. And until we see what they can do, all we can do is hope. All we can do is dream what they can do with Liv Morgan. And with that being said, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say down below. What do you guys think about Liv Morgan's 2024 booking? Where do you see her booking in 2025 going? More importantly, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments area below, because we're in very, very interesting times, y'all. Very interesting times as we head into 2025 with Liv Morgan.